Assalamualaikum. My name is Sharon Izam bin Muhammad Rafiq. Let's break down the key events of this scandal and how everything fell apart for Hwang. First, the background. Hwang Woo-SUK was a superstar in the science world. He was a famous South Korean researcher who everyone thought was a global pioneer because he claimed he had successfully cloned human embryos for the first time. But then suspicion started to grow. It wasn't about his data at first, but his ethics. People found out he was collecting human eggs unethically, even getting them from his own junior staff, which led to a lot of public hate. The real turning point was the whistleblowing. An anonymous source came forward and exposed the fraud. They showed that the breakthrough photos in his papers were actually just the same cell images repeated over and over to look like different results. That triggered a massive university investigation. The commit looked at everything and concluded that his major research data was completely fabricated. In reality, there was zero proof that any of his cloning work actually existed. Finally, the retraction by 2006. His famous papers were pulled from journals. He was fired from his job and even ended up with a suspended prison sentence. It was a huge fall from a grace that shocked the entire world. Thank you.
So, Assalamualaikum. My name is Hidi Hussein and I will continue about what went wrong and the unraveling stories. So, firstly, this case involved three major types of misconduct, which is fabrication, falsification, and ethical violation. Fabrication occurred when Huang claimed that he successfully created multiple human stem cells line. However, investigation later found that many of these stem cells would never actually exist. This showed that the data was intentionally created to support false result. Secondly, falsification was identified through manipulation of research and data of images. For example, microscopic images of stem cells were duplicated and altered appear as different samples. This may lead the scientific community into believing that the experiment was successful and reproducible. Lastly, there were serious ethical violations, particularly involved coercion. Junior researchers in his lab were pressured to donate their own eggs for research purposes. Due to the power imbalance, their consent was not truly voluntary, which violates the principle of informed consent. So, why it's not an honest error? Firstly, it is an intentional deception and completely fabricated, not a mistake. Thirdly, it is hidden and manipulated and does not correct if it was mistaken, and it violated human ethics because it is force and pressure.
Hello, my name is Fidosa. I will continue with the Wang Wo-SUK case, impact and consequences. Firstly, it's because scientific impact were false data, slow research progress. The second, there was a loss of public trust as the public began to doubt scientific research. And then he also faced personal consequences, which is a career collapse, losing his job and reputation. In addition, there was always resources, including time, money, uh, and spent on a false research. However, this case led to a positive outcome, which a stronger research ethic and uh, and a stricter rule.
Good evening, sir. I'm Karin Raj, and today I'll be talking about the ethical violations in Huang Woo-Su case. So, firstly, we have research misconduct, which is the most obvious issue. Huang fabricated and falsified his data, meaning the stem cells result he claimed were actually not real. There were also issues with image manipulations, which directly violates scientific integrity. This is critical because science relies and trusts on reproducibility. Second, the issue goes beyond data. It involves bioethics violations. Junior researchers were pressured into donating their own eggs, which is clear abuse of power. There were also illegal payments made for egg donations. So this wasn't just bad science, this was exploitation of people. And finally, we have institutional failures. The system that was supposed to catch these problems didn't work. There were weak oversight, poor verification of data, and failure to protection whistleblowers who tried to raise concerns. So the responsibility is not on the individual but also on the organization. So overall, the Huang Woo-SUK case shows that how ethical failure can happen at three levels: individual, interpersonal, and institutional, and why strong ethics and accountability are essential in engineering and research. Thank you.
Hello and good day everyone. My name is Vimal. Now I'm going to explain about the ethical sides and reflections of Hang Hang. This case serves as a powerful reminder for the scientific advancements must never come with the cost of integrity. So, to prevent such breach, we need to follow multiple pillars. For example, transparency and open science. Open data must be verified mandatorily. Science and integrities, for example, no shortcuts. Whistleblowing protection. For safe reporting, the channel is necessary. Ethical training and culture. Continuous ethical education and cultural prioritizing integrates the overall result. And finally, system reformations. We need system reformations. It means that institutional oversight and enhance the peak review to ensure the accountability of any entry level. Let be the this case is a permanent lesson. Science is to build trust, and once the trust is broken, the entire foundation will collapse. Thank you.